Gentlemen, this is Joe Gerber reporting from the Stickball desk at WPTV, bringing you live courtroom coverage of the explosive lawsuit by Andy Bleadon and the Boston Strong against Marty Ross, the Stickball Commissioner, the Wycliffe's Stiffs Stickball League, and Paul Idlekind, the manager of the Manhattan Swingers. The plaintiffs are represented by Willie Wee of the law firm Wee, Lay Back and Wank It. I didn't write this. The defense is represented by Bill E. Bull by the firm of Bull and Lishitz. I'm going to need the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham and Howe to come and represent me when this is done. Let's go to the courtroom where the plaintiff's attorney, Willie Wee, is about to address the court.
We want to discuss the situation that we had with Mr. Andy Bleadon. Bleadon? Bleadon or Bleadon? Bleadon? Andy?
David! Hands right there.
You're not on yet. A courtroom case regarding Mr. Andy Bleadon. Bleadon? Bleadon?
He's over here.
Andy.
Hear ye! Court is now in session.
Here comes the judge, here comes the judge, order in the courtroom, here comes the judge, here comes the judge, here comes the judge, order in the courtroom, here comes.
How high?
About
2, 3 inches? How much?
more than 3 inches.
4 inches.
5 inches at least.
Okay, let's not quibble over inches. I'd like to present something, not present something, I'd like to show you something. This was from one of the leading newspapers in Wellington. And I think I want to show you this before I show it to the rest of the crowd. Picture of...
I'm seeing Ross Ginsburg's arms stretched out, standing clearly almost in the center of the outfield.
that fence. What is that fence?
That's the home run fence.
Home run fence.
He's about to leap. The ball is in view. It's a great picture. Ball over his hands, and it's clearly a home run.
I object. We have a witness leading an incumbent lawyer here, and this has got to stop. Judge, set this straight.
Please proceed. Quickly.
I'd like to show this to just to get the feeling of the, well, let's say this. We want public opinion on our side.
The moment.
Let's show the people in the audience.
Let's take that around. Sure, just do that.
All right, next question.
Next question. So we have Bleadon hitting a home run that Bleadon. Okay. We have Bleadon hitting a home run, which should have been his third home run.
Which would have been so uplifting to this team that had been demoralized up until this point. And now, with Bleadon having had 2 home runs to precede it, he has now had his 3rd home run.
Now, what happened immediately?
Or not.
What?
Or not.
Or not.
Or not.
But we thought it should be.
Well, there was a big mouth out in the outfield.
Who?
Standing 40, 50 feet, went straight over Ginsburg's head in order for this person who screams foul to call it foul. That ball would have had to take a right turn, and stickballs don't do that.
Did Mr. Ginsburg do anything as the ball went over his head?
Ginsburg threw his hands onto his head. His head dropped down in despair. Every gesture, every
Body language. Let's talk about body language.
every part of his body language,
A lot of body language.
lots of it,
Lots, and he's a big guy. He could do body language like nobody else could do body language.
it said home run. That's
Home run. We had a home run.
But there's a guy out in the outfield. Idlekind screams out, foul.
Who hiss? Who hiss? Who hiss?
Where he got foul from, no idea.
I object. It's well known that a fair foul call is made by the fielding team, and this testimony is totally out of order.
I'm aware of the rule IX 9, IX 9. The official rule book in stickball, but we have to submit that Mr. Ginsburg's body language indicated that he was closest to the scene, saw the ball over his head, saw it was over the screen. It was a home run. He just, and what happened to the rest of the team when we saw the ball go over the fence for the third time?
I'll tell you what happened to the rest of the team. Strong, show everybody what you did.
Right, and we were up in arms, right? Get up in arms, up arms.
Were you on your feet? Were you on your feet screaming?
There's an objection at the court.
What?
Mr. Bull objected to your question.
What's wrong with it? It was a good question.
Raising the issue of Rule 9C of the
You're right.
Stickball rules.
Where's that rule? There's no rule.
And the answer to that objection is objection overruled.
Great, I love it, I love it. All right, we good. All right, I think, Your Honor, I thank you, and I'm going to rest my case at this point.
What happened next, Mr. Witness?
Oh, no, you know what? You got some more things to say, Dr. Brenner? Page 3, no. No, he's done? Okay. Let's disregard page 3, go right to page 4.
Your witness, Mr. Bull.
I have no questions.
You mean you do not wish to cross-examine Dr. Brenner?
That is correct, Your Honor. I can tell that you're a wise and discerning judge of character, and would never believe a word from this man's mouth.
Besides which, we don't want to delay dessert.
Well, we had this.
I didn't have it. Very well, Mr. Weed.
Anybody else have dessert yet? No, so let's continue. Okay, let's go.
Call your next witness.
Next witness.
Yeah, you have another witness?
I don't have another witness because I think we made our case, and we'll just rest at this moment.
Okay, you had a big soliloquy here. But
Where is that?
Does Ginsburg have something to say?
Yes, come on.
This was rehearsed for 3 years.
So what his...
Oh, you know what? You're right. I have to ask the judge, really.
What about Ginsburg?
What about Ginsburg?
He
No,
has to have
they
something to say about
You think we should call Ginsburg? No.
I think you should read the line.
Read my lines. Okay, let's read lines here. Finally, watch out. No, that's not my line. Yeah, what about
Does he have something to say about
Yes,
it?
right.
We don't need no stinking other witnesses.
They told me not to say that one.
Ultimately, due to Idle-Kind's histrionics, Bleadon's third home run was disallowed.
Right.
Strong and Mr. Bleadon submit that the swingers in the league, with the complicity of the commish,
Right.
maliciously and disgracefully deprived Bleadon of his third home run of the game.
I agree.
An historic milestone in the 12-year history of the league, and one which deprived the Strong of its inevitable victory in the game.
Excellent. Those were your lines.
Andy was devastated.
Those are really good lines.
This would have been a personal
Those are
achievement.
good lines. I
After
like
a
that.
line, how he was a kid, and the kids were choosing up sides for a baseball game, they told him to stand in right field. Then the two teams would go and play somewhere else. In later years, Andy took up boxing, but he had to quit the ring because he had bad hands. The refs kept stepping on him. One disappointment after another.
That's really good.
Sorry, you want to your line?
No, I'm doing the lines good. I think mine is written in black ink. That's the problem. No, I got black ink on white paper.
Finally, Andy
My eyes.
calling stickball. Depriving him of his place in stickball history is devastating to him. Only you, Your Honor, can set this travesty aside.
Yes.
We plead, getting down on our knees, for you to do the right thing
Do the right thing.
and award Bleadon the third home run and Strong the victory in the game. Thank you. That was,
Wait.
I have to, that was me.
I wrote my case.
That was very moving, Mr. Weed. Mr. Bull, what do you have to say about this?
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, with all due respect, what a crock of shit.
You're objecting? Is that, hey, is that an objection?
Hey, yes.
Watch yourself, Mr. Bull.
Sorry about that. As I was saying, the defendants have a counterclaim against Mr. Bloomberg
Bleadon.
and the Strong that negates their claim, even if they were right. Mr. Bloomberg is a dope.
Bleadon.
I mean a doper. He's been taking banned substances, and we assert that he should be stripped of his 2 home runs and that the Strong forfeit all games they won, if any, while Bloomberg was playing. I call Dr. Ben crazy to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Place your left hand on the other right hand. and put your left hand on the balls. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I say, do you solemnly swear? Oh, never mind. You're a witness.
Will you please take that fakakta mask off? That you're not in surgery.
You're a witness.
What are your professional qualifications, Dr. Crazy?
I graduated in the top half of my class at Junior High School 128 in Bensonhurst in 1960. I attended reform school and got my GED in 2008. After I sued the University of Phoenix, they had to issue me an associate's degree back in 2013. I studied chemistry and pharmaceutical science at Walgreens in Opelika. And then I did an internship at a well-known cartel in Colombia and Mexico, where I earned my doctorita en coquina.
Thank you. Doctor? I show you defense exhibits A, B, and C. Will you please identify what they depict?
Sure.
Please describe exhibit A.
Exhibit A shows Mr. Blunden hiding behind a tree, taking some blue and yellow substances in pill form.
Mr. Bull. And
Dr. Crazy, you moron.
Yeah, that's it. This is a close-up of Billingham's hand from Exhibit A.
who's billing him?
Isn't that his name? I don't know. All right, you can clearly see those blue and yellow pills.
Where is we? Where's the wee?
We?
Yes, you're lying. Rosen!
You got my mic. You got my mic.
We can hear you.
Why do I always work with morons?
What page? What page are we on? I'm only up to 9. Where are you? You're on 5. Oh, I always get ahead of myself. I just cannot put... You're only on page 9.
Read mine.
I'm on page 6.
Objection, Your Honor. Any idiot can see that those are M&Ms.
Yes, I object.
Dr. Crazy.
Any idiot can see their M&Ms.
All right, Dr. Crazy, can you explain?
They may look like M&Ms, but they are really very, very powerful substances.
Thank you. Objection overruled.
How do you know?
On December 3rd, 2013, while running for a fly ball, Mr. Beautiful tripped and fell over his own sneaker laces. He was bleeding from the left elbow.
Was Bleadon bleeding? Was bleeding Bleadon?
Bleeding was bleeding and bleeding, yes.
Okay.
He also peed all over himself. The commish ordered the director of operations to clean up the blood and the urine. The director of operations is a very intelligent man. On a hunch, he sent the samples to our lab for analysis.
And did you run tests on Joe Biden's test?
Yeah.
And what do those tests disclose?
Thank you for asking. Mr. Bassi had greatly elevated amounts of unnatural substances in his system, including amphetamines, testosterone, human growth hormone, Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, and an enormous amount of estrogen. And by the way, Mr. Beautiful is pregnant.
Now, how would these substances affect Mr. Bloomberg's performance in athletic activity or in the alternative stickball?
Well, the estrogen would cause him to prance daintily in the outfield, and when chasing a fly ball, he would leap into the air and come down in a pirouette. And the HGH, the HGH gave him superhuman strength and coordination, which unfairly and it would illegally allow him to hit balls great distances and foul too. The testosterone, of course, is the principal cause of his unusual facial hair.
Phone call. Hold on 1 minute, there's a phone call. Don, is that? Take your call. There's only 400 people here waiting.
You stepped on his lines. Go ahead. Give him the line.
Manish Tandor Halayla Hassan.
So what would the testosterone do?
Okay, take two. The testosterone, of course, is the principal cause of his unusual facial hair. And a combination of extremely heavy combinations of Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra make Mr. Blum the ultimate Wycliffe stiff.
Now, do you have proof that he's the ultimate Wycliffe stiff?
Of course. Exhibit C. There is Mr. Brown taking a leap in front of some Wycliffe non-stiffs. They can't believe what they're looking at. Mr. Bungle has a schlong the size of a horse.
You're a witness, so we...
I have no witnesses because I don't want to be late for...
Get out and stay.
I liked it here.
All right, have a seat.
All right, hang around.
All right. You may now make your closing argument, Mr. Bull.
We request that Your Honor disallow the first 2 home runs that Mr. Bloomberg hit, and to order the Strong to forfeit all games, if any, that they won while Mr. Bloomberg was playing. The Boston Strong is the only team in the league to have a captain, an assistant captain, and a pharmacist. And this is the first time in stickball history that a player, Joe Biden, has been found to have more additives in him than the hot dogs on every day. The defense rests.
Thank you both for an inspiring trial. The court has considered the evidence and the arguments and is prepared to pronounce its decision in ratio decidendi.
Ratio.
To decide it your way. I thank you both. But, all right.
You cheap bastard.
Mr. Bull,